Every year we get a lot of questions about what should I spray after I harvest my wheat in order to kill weeds for the rest of the fall. And this is an important question because you gotta make sure that you stop weeds from going to seed on your farm. And in some cases, you wanna prevent those weeds from sucking up moisture and that kind of thing too. But the main thing is we just wanna stop them from going to seed, so we lower the seed bank in any given field. Okay, so after harvest, then you've gotta consider, am I gonna put a cover crop in? Am I gonna seed a fall seeded crop? Or am I just waiting with everything until the spring? So those are the three factors that we're looking at here. Obviously, you're probably gonna throw Roundup in there. That's a real good one. But with all the Roundup resistant weeds, some farmers are switching from Roundup over to Gramoxone. Neither product has residual, it's just Gramoxone costs a bunch more money.
It's just Gramoxone costs a bunch more money? Well, yeah. If it controls the weeds, it's well worth it. That's a good thing. Yeah. But again, you know, here we are switching from a product with no residual to another product with no residual.
Yeah, but let's talk about what are we going to throw in there. Usually people are either going to throw dicamba, Banville, or 2,4-D in. So if you're gonna go Roundup and Banville, now does that combination kill the weeds? Well, now I might not have to go with Gramoxone.
Well, the other thing is I think Banville and 2,4-D are really oversold, because when you talk to somebody, oh, what about dicamba? Oh, it's got so much more residual than 2,4-D. Oh, so it lasts a few days or a week instead of just a few days? You know, when we're thinking about residual, we're not thinking about how long it's going to last in the soil until you can rotate another crop necessarily. What I'm concerned about is how long it's going to kill weeds for. And when you get a rain shower that pops up like this, all of a sudden some more weeds start to germinate, and there you go.
The good news is the rain fast time on all these products is basically as soon as the product dries on, then it's going to kill the weed. But if the weeds are so solid thick that you can't do a very good job, because everybody's concerned, oh, Roundup's going to drift, Banville's going to drift, 2,4-D's going to drift, so then they switch to drift reduction nozzles. Well, big droplets aren't going to give you very good spray coverage, especially if you have solid weeds. That's why you've got to kill them right away. We strongly encourage you, consider spraying twice instead of just one time on big weeds. You'll have a lot better kill. You'll be a lot happier with the results.
The other thing you can do is use some products that do have a long residual in the soil to kill weeds for quite a while into the summer. Now, we're talking about products like Sharpen and Valor. Sharpen is a really nice product because it can be used in front of so many different crops. And if you look at your crop rotation, if you have corn, soybeans, and wheat, for example, you can use Sharpen in front of all of those. So all your cropping options are open, even if you run into a situation where you get no rain.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You've got to take a look at what's my cover crop going to be, because then Sharpen and Valor might not work. That's why a lot of guys like going with the Roundup or Gramoxone all by itself, because then there's absolutely no residual and they can plant anything in there. Even 2,4-D has a few days of residual. Dicamba has a much longer residual. So let's say you want to put a cover crop in a week or two, I'd go 2,4-D rather than the dicamba and just forget about almost everything else depending on what your cover crop mix is.
Well, it certainly would be ideal if you could use a cover crop in combination with herbicides that would be safe for that cover crop. Now you've got good weed control until we get a canopy, and then we've got that canopy of the cover crop. You've really defeated about everything that could pop up in your field. And one of the biggest weeds that we're talking about when we think about this post-harvest burn down is our weed of the week. We'll show you how to stop it coming up next.